It's spinning. Are we on? We're
live.
Okay, aloha guys. Welcome back to Mermaid Nina Travels. I am Mermaid Nina and I'm here today with Amanda. We are doing kind of a fun little thing right now. I am on the hunt for a co-host, so to speak, basically a Regis to my Kathy Lee, or maybe a Kathy Lee to my Regis. If you even know who Regis and Kathy Lee are, maybe I just aged myself. Not really sure. Anyway, so Amanda is up tonight to see how well this goes. And we've got a very interesting live chat because with Disney being crazy and all these new things happening, we're here to discuss that. So most of you guys know who I am. So Amanda, why don't you introduce yourself?
So I'm Amanda from The Heights to Disney, and my channel typically has my husband sitting with me. Sometimes my 3-year-old likes to pop into videos randomly. And we talk about all things Disney, our favorite and least favorite things in the parks. And we do a lot of Disney cooking videos. And hopefully very soon more trip vlogs. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we will be back in the parks and happy as can be. And we are out of state pass holders, so we go as frequently as financially available to us.
Same here. I don't even know what to say. I'm still kind of heartbroken that Disney closed down, and I kind of don't know what to do with my life or my day. We had 5 trips canceled on us.
Oh my
God. Constantly hearing about all the changes and all this stuff, it just kind of makes me more sad because I know in the long run it affects my Disney. Mm-hmm. And I'm don't affect my Disney. So
yeah, thankfully we didn't have any trips canceled on us. Well, technically we did. We had to bump a trip off by 2 weeks. Like we bumped it from the 4th of July weekend to 2 weeks later, but I don't really count that as a canceled trip because our annual passes lapsed back in January. So we let them lapse. My husband had surgery. So we were like, okay, he's going to have to be out of commission for a while. He's not going to be able to travel. So we just kind of put it off knowing that we were going to go in July and we'd probably get new passes then. And here we are in 3 weeks with new passes in a completely different park than we left it in November.
It's hard. Disney's addicting. It's hard not to book that next trip or extend the annual pass holders. I keep thinking I'm going to let mine lapse until we actually have another big trip coming up. But then I find myself quickly booking something.
Yeah.
So that I don't let it lapse. But
yeah, our annual pass last year was we're going for a 9-day trip as a family. And then as a 5-day trip, just my husband and I. So it made financial sense to just buy them. And it evened out, and then you get all the extras and whatever. And those 2 trips turned into 5. So yeah, annual passes are addicting. Because you have to be like, oh, it's worth it.
It is. If you go enough times, it's worth it. And for me, we renewed or we got them in December, but then we had the flu while at Disney, so we didn't get to go to the parks.
Yeah.
So then we had all these trips for this year that then got canceled. So now I'm like stuck with these APs and I haven't actually used them because I haven't actually been. So,
have you activated them at all, or did they start in December?
Yeah, they activated in December. We went to the park. My daughter didn't feel good. We went back to the hotel and then that was it.
Oh, that's horrible.
We were done. We were in the hospital. We were getting ambulance rides. We were getting Disney 911 called on us. It was a hot mess. So, which I will talk about later when we talk about masks, because I kind of thought, backtrack a little bit, maybe it would have been nice if masks were a thing back then, because with all the flu going around last year, maybe a mask would have been good. So, but why don't we start into our chat here? So Amanda and I thought it would be fun to do a couple of like icebreaker questions, and I wrote 3. She doesn't know what they are, and she wrote 3, and I don't know what they are. So, and we're both going to answer them because why not? It's Disney and they're fun, right? So do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first. Why not?
Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
My first one is, what is your favorite Epcot festival?
Oh, Christmas. What is it? Festival of Holiday Lights or something?
Yeah.
Festival of the Holidays. I remember going as a kid before it was called anything and doing the candlelight processional and all that stuff. Something about learning about all the countries and how they celebrate Christmas and seeing all the trees up. Christmas is a rough time of year for me, just due to lost family members.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to see all the happiness and the cheer, especially the way Epcot does it, really kind of brings Christmas home for me. So absolutely Christmas time. How about you? What's your favorite festival?
My favorite is Flower and Garden. It was the first festival that my husband and I ever went to. And our first trips up until last year, that's the only time we'd ever gone was during Flower and Garden.
Uh-huh.
And so I love it. It holds a sentimental value in my heart. So that's my favorite.
Awesome. Well, with you going really soon, they're opening up food and wine like instantly.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what a so-called reduced or modified food and wine is, but you're going to love it. Food and wine was, I don't know if it was the original, but I kind of feel like it was. I love food and wine.
Yeah, we got to do food and wine a couple of times last year, and it was so nice. And we've done Festival of the Arts a couple of times, which was nice, but this Flower and Garden just makes me happy.
You got to go with what you love, right?
Yep.
It's either Christmas trees for me or crazy garden. Is it called? They called topiaries.
Yeah.
They're amazing to look at. So
yeah, Christmas is the only one we haven't done, and I'm like, my fingers are crossed that we might be able to go this year and do it if they even do it at all. But
yeah,
eventually, one day.
We're headed there this year as well. We already have our reservations, so really hoping for candlelight. We love our Gary Sinise, and we'll see. But I hope you get to go. All right. So my question is, my number one is, with the current not fast pass, so the current park pass system that we just learned about, that we've experienced.
Yep.
If you could only go to one park, one day, one trip, which park would you pick and why? Like, would you pick your favorite park of all time? Would you pick the park with the most rides? What would be your one park?
Okay, so since we just did all of our,
I know, right?
Stuff,
fresh in the mind.
The first one that I booked because I wanted to make sure we got it, so I'm going to go with that one. I think I would do Hollywood Studios, which is interesting because it's my least favorite of the parks, so it feels weird saying that. But we haven't gotten to do Rise of the Resistance yet, and we are very excited to have the opportunity to hopefully be able to do it.
It's amazing.
So we've done Millennium Falcon. We went for the preview back last August and loved. Galaxy's Edge just is amazing. And I could just spend the whole day just at the cantina with some drinks and then going and riding Millennium Falcon, going back to the cantina. So yeah, I'm going to go with Hollywood Studios.
I would lose my drink if I did that. There's no way. It's like drink at the end of the night, no more rides unless it's like Small World or something. There's no way I'd be able to drink Falcon. Because
now I want to try that. I'm going to have to try that now on our trip.
or mix the blue-green milk in there. I don't know. So for me, if Galaxy's Edge wasn't a thing, I would 100% pick Magic Kingdom because it's my favorite park. It has the most rides. We get the most action there. But if I was talking currently today, I would also pick Hollywood because the ability, they said that Rise will be open. There's no fast passes. So the potential chance to be able to just walk on Rise with a minimal wait is huge because you don't need a boarding group or anything. Plus, I haven't done Mickey and Minnie's Railway yet because it opened and then COVID. So haven't quite done that one yet. So I'm getting itchy. So it's interesting. We both picked Hollywood.
Yeah. And you know what? If it wasn't for, again, like same thing, if it wasn't for Galaxy's Edge, I would have picked Magic Kingdom. Like wearing my Magic Kingdom shirt. Right. Love it.
And of course, I'm here with my Yoda shirt.
Yeah. I did see your baby Yoda in the background and I was laughing because my baby Yoda is right on the other side of my laptop.
Yeah, my TikTok is all Baby Yoda.
I love it.
He travels with us in the car, and it's the many adventures of Baby Yoda.
That's absolutely amazing, and I might have to make a secondary TikTok or like even just make my normal one. Like My Adventures of Baby Yoda. That's brilliant. Brilliant.
Don't copy me. I'm an original.
No, it'll be yours is adventure, so mine will be like COVID Baby Yoda or something. Oh, I could get him a little mask. That'd be adorable.
I already did that. What I was going to do actually before I got him is I was going to do pop figures because I know you have a bunch of pop figures.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to have pop figures throughout doing things like Elsa, freezing Anna. But then I saw my Yoda and I was like sold. So like he had Taco Bell today. Yesterday he went to Starbucks.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
He's ridiculous. The day Disney came out with the park passes, he was on my computer like trying to get in through the orbit sign.
You have to send me your TikTok so I can see those and watch them 100 times.
It's Mermaid Nina Travels, so it's
perfect. Easy enough.
It's easy. All right. So what's your second question?
Okay. If you had to be stuck on one ride for the entire day, which ride would it be?
No, I hate this question.
Well, let me rephrase it. You're not stuck. You just have to continuously ride it all day long.
Okay. So not a coaster. Not Small World because it's annoying.
Yeah.
Not Winnie the Pooh because it bounces. Gosh, that is not fun of a question. I don't know. I maybe Pirates. Just because
that's a good one.
It's flat, although there is a hill. That's hard because the simple Disney rides are music crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have rides that you don't want to do that all day.
No.
And even something like Kilimanjaro Safaris, as much as I love it, a few of those, and you're just done, you got to pee your pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't even pick that ride. I don't know. What would you pick? That's a hard question.
I 100% would go with the People Mover. That's one of my favorite rides. Yeah. One of my favorite. It doesn't have like, a theme song.
No, that's a perfect ride. Oh, they say Toy Story Mania. So you could just
that's good. You could like get like practice in and so then you can beat everybody the next time you go with someone.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't do that one because of the potential spinning and like that section where they the like tunnel of
Yeah. I think the 3D would also start to hurt your eyes after a while too. So maybe Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin, because that one you don't have to spin.
That's true. Oh, then we've got, let's see, Haunted Mansion, 2 for Haunted Mansion.
I could probably do Haunted Mansion all day too. I'd be okay with
probably that. Could too. You guys are coming up with some really good ones. See, I was put on the spot and couldn't come up with anything. Yeah.
Also, hi, Mary. I wasn't
Gregory for Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion is a good one.
No, it's a good one. But I still think People Mover, because you had time to think about it.
Yeah,
I think that's the best answer because, like you said, there's no music. It's simple.
I feel like Living with the Land wouldn't be a bad one either because that one's like long.
And air conditioned.
But you also get some sunshine.
That's true. I personally hate that ride, so I wouldn't pick that. The little fish that look at you drive me crazy. So I guess we just have to, every time you go through that part, just...
Then after a while, you'll just like have like this like interior clock that you just like know like, okay, it's been 7.5 minutes. I know to cover my eyes again.
The fish are coming.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. So it's similar to my next question, actually. So great minds, right? So I wrote, if you're stuck on an experience for an hour, would you rather be stuck on the monorail with no air conditioning? Or would you rather be stuck on It's a Small World with the music on full blast?
Oh, Small World, 100%. I don't mind Small World at all. I've already had really bad experiences with being stuck on rides, and it wasn't Small World. That being said, if I ever get stuck on Small World, I probably will say the monorail, but I'm going to go Small World.
I think for me, it just depends on the time of year.
Yeah.
If the wind's blowing, I don't mind being on the monorail, but I know, hey guys, I know a lot of people have a height problem. So being stuck in the air or potentially them having to lift you out, I would not want to Yeah, true. Gregory says depends how many people are actually on the monorail.
I was going to say that's really the deciding factor. Are you in a car by yourself, or are we talking like end of the night, everybody's on that monorail going back?
People are screaming, kids are crying. But I think in the end, I would also pick Small World because you can always stick something in your ears to drown out the constant repeat of, the song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? It would give you a really good chance to learn it in all the other languages.
That's true. That's true. Thank goodness for that ride. I now know how to say goodbye in a few days.
Exactly.
Because I've been stuck at the very end before, because like if a wheelchair or something has to get off and then the boats bump and then you're stuck in the like goodbye area.
Yeah.
Adios. Sayonara.
I know that spot very well.
All right. What's your question 3?
All right. My question 3. What is your favorite animal to see in all of Animal Kingdom?
Ooh. I am an elephant girl. I always have been. I love me some pachyderms. So I think the only place you can see an elephant is on the safari, but I'm going to go with elephant. They are my favorite. Yep,
I would have to go with giraffes since I am a giraffe person. Elephants are a close second, but I don't know, something about giraffes. They're just so cool, and like when they're kind of tucked away in a corner and you can just kind of like peek around and see like the baby giraffes. Yeah, I just love giraffes.
The babies are cute. And my most recent, Nick says lions.
Oh, yeah.
Mari said giraffes too, though. So,
have you heard the lions roar before?
Huh?
Have you heard the lions roar before on the safari?
No.
Oh my goodness! On our last trip, we went at like, I don't know, maybe like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was starting to get a little bit dark, and we literally for about 30 seconds heard the lions roaring, and it was the coolest thing I've ever heard.
I wonder if it was feeding time because they are semi-domesticated.
Yeah, it might have been feeding time. It might have just been, I don't know what it was, but it was absolutely incredible.
Wow. I'm a little jelly on that one. That's pretty cool. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah. Gregory says the okapi. That's what my husband's favorites are.
Ooh, yeah. The okapis are pretty cool. My husband would probably say that too. Yeah. But he's also the one that would be like, oh, that's a blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. Mine does the same thing. He like memorizes that, the description above, and then he whips it out like he knows what he's talking about. Like, oh yeah, that's a blah, blah. I'm like, really? You read that, cheater. Way to cheat. But I was going to say in my most recent video from the safari is the giraffes were kind of all around, and then all of a sudden our truck pulled up and they all scurried like in the center. Ooh. We thought they were going to run in front of the Jeep. And so I actually kind of scream a little bit in the video. Like they just like, but it was the baby. There was a baby there. So I think the baby ran out and then all the adults were like protecting him or something.
Well, I know what I'm doing when I'm done with this live stream is watching that.
You're going to watch the video.
Also, I'm pretty sure I have a video with the lion roaring in it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I want to see the lion roaring. I don't know. I can't wait. We are going to be doing, we'll talk about it, but we're going to be doing Animal Kingdom in August. So hoping for some lion roaring maybe.
Yes.
All right. So my final question before we get to the subject at hand is, if you only had enough money for one snack.
Ooh.
Which one? Any park. Doesn't matter, but one. What is your go-to one snack?
I know what it is. Like I say ooh as if like I wasn't going to say what I'm going to say. And it's not a Dole Whip. Because I can't have Dole Whips because I'm allergic to pineapple. So no Dole Whips for me. There's a dish at the bakery in France that it's like a crescent roll. It's giant. It's like this big. And it's got cheese and bacon wrapped into it. And I don't know what it is, but it's literally like $3.50. It's super cheap. And it feeds me for like a good half a day at Epcot. And I just love it. Oh, it's funny, Greg, that you say coconut Dole Whip because I'm also allergic to coconut. So, sorry.
Think of something else, Greg.
And Nick.
Oh, Nick says it too. Well, I already know Nick. We were chatting earlier. He loves his Dole Whips.
Yeah.
I have 3 favorite snacks I just love, but one I think I tend to hunt down more frequently, and that is the Candied Almonds.
Ooh, where do you find those?
They are at Magic Kingdom for sure. They used to be by Jungle Cruise, and then they moved them to near the stage. I know you can definitely get them at Animal Kingdom in between one of the animal trails and I'm having a brain fart roller coaster, Mount Everest. Yeah. So somewhere in there. And they're so good. And so a lot of times you can get, is it cashews and pecans as well? But I just love it. They're tasty, and it's a nice little like protein snack to kind of like, I mean, I'll literally buy like 5 of them and like stuff them in my bag and we'll eat them for days later.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
But is your sandwich, is that breakfast only, or is that an all day thing?
It is an all day as long as they still have it thing. So
wow, it sells out?
Yes. So we've definitely gone at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon being like, oh, you know, we've park hopped and we're going to go and get that for lunch. And then they don't have it. And then I cry a little bit.
Yeah. Don't want to cry.
I came all this way from New Hampshire to Florida to get this. And
you need to stock my snack, Disney.
I know, right? What I really do is I need to learn how to make it.
Yeah. Well, you're the one that does the Disney recipes.
It's on our list to make. We've made a couple recently that are going to be up on the channel soon, but that's awesome. It's on the list.
Perfect. Well, I noticed Nick says the lime Dole Whip, and I will tell you that the lime Dole Whip is amazing.
I haven't had the lime. I did have the lemon, the like princess cone one. I had that one, and that was fantastic.
The Rapunzel one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the lemon at Disneyland as well.
Ooh.
On Pixar Pier. And you don't get a cone. It just comes in like a cup. So it's really good.
Good.
All right. Should we go for the subject at hand?
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm quite excited for this.
All right, guys. So we decided with all the current changes in policies and just basically, I like to call it new Disney, we each came up with 3 things, and we haven't shared them yet. It's a total secret of what we think is the good changes, the bad changes, and just the flat out ugly changes. And maybe we'll also mention how, because we're both going, how maybe we'll fix some of the bad and ugly changes to make them work for us, because obviously they're not ugly enough to prevent us from going to Disney. So who wants to start?
Well, I started in the last one, so why don't you start this one?
Okay, so should I just name all 3? I should go one at a time.
I would say go do all 3.
All 3? Okay. So for my good, I am excited that Disney is going to be cleaner.
Yeah.
I'm excited for more sanitation, cleaner rides, cleaner hotel rooms, cleaner lobbies, cleaner handrails. I saw in some video, I think, I didn't make it up, maybe I did, that housekeeping's actually going to put your remote control in a baggie.
Yeah, I saw that. And they're going to do the same with like the tops of the pump bottles for like soap and conditioner and stuff in the shower. They're going to do the same kind of thing.
They're going to cover them with plastic?
Yeah, they're going to sanitize them and then basically like seal them in like a plastic wrap after.
Either way, after my December trip with the flu, cleaner sounds perfect to me.
Yep.
This one's kind of a giveaway, but I'm excited for lower crowds and less people.
Yeah.
You can't, with everyone so worried, I'm like, hey, at 25% capacity might be a good time to go. I don't know. And my third one, which might get some boxing gloves out, is I'm actually kind of glad they're getting rid of fast passes.
So I'll get into my list because I said something very similar.
Right. So what's your 3?
So my 3 are that we should have lower wait times with lower crowd levels, so that you don't have to worry about, if you, let's just hypothetically say there was fast passes, you don't have to worry about waiting 2 hours for a ride that you don't have a fast pass for. My second was that Disney can try to phase out the traditional fast pass system. Like, this is a great time for them to revamp it.
Right.
Make it into a paid system, kind of like Universal does, where, maybe you get it if you stay on a resort property, you get it for free. I don't know how it would work, but they could totally redo it. And it would give the chance to see if Fast Pass actually makes the lines longer, like people say they do.
I know that's the big, so I don't know if it's really a debate, but we're going to call it a debate.
Yeah. And then my third one, I'm actually really excited that the parks are going to be staggered opening and closing. I'm excited that, they're all going to be open the same 10 hours, but I'm excited that, Epcot's going to be 11 to 9. Like, I can sleep in that morning. I love not having to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning just to ride, Test Track.
See, I saw that, and I actually asked a cast member, and they said all subject to change. I wonder, do you think they're going to stick with that? Because I thought the same thing. I'm like, I'm going to put Epcot in the middle of my trip. That can be my rest day. Yeah. But do you think, I'm wondering if they just put arbitrary times in, but
I feel like, we're 3 weeks out at this point. They should maybe have something scheduled, but I guess they don't have to.
I wonder about that because Future World is the one that would open at 8 or 9, but World Showcase is always opened at 11.
Yeah.
So if they say they're opening at 11, is that because they no longer have to prevent people from getting into the World Showcase? They're just opening everything up at one time?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm excited for that. It excites me a lot if they say the way they are, that Hollywood Studios is supposed to open at 10 a.m. And again, for Rise of the Resistance, I don't have to get up at 4 a.m. to try and get in line to ride it. I am all about that.
Right. And you brought up an interesting point because I'm wondering, sorry, I was reading Nick's comment. What was I going to say? I'm wondering if, right. Okay. I know what I was going to say. If you are going to be that person who's going to wake up at 4 a.m. for a 10 o'clock park opening, how are they going to monitor the stagger of people? So I'm wondering if they're going to say, you know what, do not show up before 10.
They might block off the entrance to the park.
How are they going to social distance that?
They might not, maybe that's why they're staggering it so that people, if you're staying on hotel property and are taking a bus, then you're waiting in line for, Magic Kingdom opens at 9. They start running that bus at 8, and that's when you can start lining up. I don't know. It's going to be quite interesting to see how it works.
It is. And I read somewhere, and again, they said something like a bus normally holds maybe 65 seats, and they're bringing it down to 15 or something.
Yeah. Have you seen the pictures of how they're doing the buses? It's insane.
Yeah.
You're they're literally, if you've got a party of 8, that's your whole bus.
Right. So then I'm thinking, well, and maybe that's part of the staggering, because unless they want everyone on the bus all at the same time, but you have to think about it. Normally when you stand out in front of the bus stops, there's 4 to 6 families already waiting.
Yeah.
That's a good 3 buses worth.
Yeah. But if there's going to be, only 25% capacity, if the hotels, I don't know how much, how full the hotels are going to be, but you would think if they've got, all these things in place where there's only going to be 25% capacity, that the hotels aren't going to be at full capacity. And I don't know.
They just can't be. And then the other thing about it is they're giving resort guests first dibs.
Yeah.
And if there were that many of us, then APs, locals, and people staying at the Holiday Inn are never going to get in.
Yeah.
But so we'll see on Friday. I think it's Friday. APs can book Friday, and other people with standalone tickets can book Monday. So it'll be interesting to see how many spots are actually open, because if resorts take all the spots, that means resorts are at 25% capacity then.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too, because my husband and I talked about this before they started releasing everything on Monday. And I was like, it would make sense if, let's say that, let's just, as a hypothetical number, Magic Kingdom can hold 20,000 people. If they did 10,000 people per day for people that have hotel reservations, and then saved 5,000 for APs and 5,000 for off property, then you're giving everybody a fair chance versus just, okay, all 20,000 first day are now gone just to hotel people.
Right. But then you have to imagine the hundreds and thousands and billions and trillions, and I don't know the number, of people who've been planning their trip for eons and are paying the big bucks to stay on property. Yeah. This is kind of their perk. Disney's already taking away our other perks, no magic bands, No fast passes at 60 days because there are no fast passes.
Yep.
No booking meals 6 months in advance. Now everyone will be 60. So perhaps giving us some sort of perk, which brings us to your fast pass comment. I, for years, have thought deluxe resorts should get like 6. Yeah. Moderate should get like 4. And value should get like 2, because if Disney really wants the money and they want to bump people up to the higher level,
it's a great way to do it.
Then give us more perks. Instead, what they did is they said, oh, deluxe who are staying at club level, if you want to pay like $90 per person, you can purchase more fast passes.
Yeah,
but it's on you who are already paying top dollar. And I was like,
top dollar on top of top dollar.
Let's I mean, I can stay deluxe. That's what I prefer. But, you know, I ain't Oprah Winfrey. I mean, I'm not rich. Yeah. So you gotta help us out a little bit. But I don't know. It'll be definitely interesting. I look forward to all the vlogs and blogs and stuff of people who, because at this point, I'm not sure we're actually going to know until we get there.
Yeah.
Because there's so much hearsay that you just don't know.
Yeah, Nick is saying the Hollywood Studios is full for the first 3 days already from people staying on property. But I have heard that there's rumors that they've held back some of those reservations for APs. We just don't know until Friday. We really just don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Let's pretend they did. Let's pretend that they did hold back 100 passes for APs. Is it just for APs or for people who actually have a resort stay? If they quickly get up that morning too and try to book because they opened them up, will they also have a fair shake?
Yeah.
Or if it's just like, nope, only AP. I mean, it's who knows how Disney does the tech behind it all, but.
Yeah, and who knows what it'll be like tomorrow. It'll change.
Right. And then I think someone had mentioned AP preview. So that will give you all your locals who are APs a chance to do their whatever they need to do for those first 2 days for all the vloggers and bloggers and all those people. But
Disney's gonna give it to all, open it to most APs or whatever, but that they're gonna, that handful of top vloggers and bloggers and newscasters and whatever, they're going to have access. Like they're
going to have a media event. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, they did at Disney Springs. It was extremely limited, but they had a little media.
Yeah.
See what it's going to be like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Disney, start inviting me to those.
I know, right? Like I know my subscribers are really high and I've got a lot of influence on some people here.
I have a pretty popular Facebook page. So,
There you go. Hook a girl up and a friend. A potential co-host. Come on.
Disney, please. I know you're watching. I know you are.
Yep.
Us.
Yep. Chapek is watching. I can see him in the chat right now.
I know Nick's over here. Like I'm hoping to get an invite to that too. I know. And he wrote, waiting to change our flight if we do. I'm in the same boat. We were supposed to go on a cruise, which got canceled. And then we had one night in Animal Kingdom. So I have flights for like 9-day long trip and the cruise got canceled. So we extended our Disney World trip just by a couple of days, but now I have to wait for our flights to change enough so I can complain.
Yep.
And change them to just being 4 days long instead of 9 days long. And I'm just like, there's so much drama going on with trying to get to the parks.
I know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
You can show who the desperados are because we're over here like, we need to go now.
I don't care. I'll wear the mask. I'll do the things. Like, just get me there.
Just open. Okay, so that brings us to the bad. You want to go with your bad first since I did the good?
Yeah, so my bad, the first one is kind of the obvious, no fireworks, parades, characters, all the stuff that they got rid of. It's not bad enough to make me not want to go, but it's bad enough that when friends ask me if they should go, I tell them not to go on their once in a lifetime, their first trip in 10 years, whatever. My second is no more park hopping. Because again, it's not bad enough that I wouldn't go, but it's a real bummer. Like we are avid park hoppers, get our, morning at Magic Kingdom, evening at Epcot, pull in between kind of people, and not having that flexibility makes planning harder and also makes the day harder because you're like, okay, I've got 1 day to do it.
Right.
That's it. And then my third is masks. Masks is.
Oh, you put masks in bad.
I did. I put masks in bad only because it won't stop me from going to Disney. Like, I'll wear a mask to go to Disney.
Right. That's true. Well, I think I might be completely different from you for the bad.
It'll be interesting to see if your bad is my ugly.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because your ugly was, your bad was, you had one of my uglies in there. So for me, I could care less about the characters, parades, or fireworks. I have seen it, been it, done it, whatever.
Yep.
I'm not a first-time person. So for me, my bad has nothing to do with those. But I was a little disappointed about no evening events, no holiday party, potentially no Christmas party.
Yeah.
That bums me out a little bit because we always go over the holidays. And like I said, I'm a holiday girl. Like, I need that holiday stuff so I can feel the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, we were supposed to go. We hadn't booked anything. So now it's like we probably won't go anyway. But we were supposed to go for the Wine and Dine weekend to cheer some friends of ours on, which is the second weekend of November. So we were going to actually fly down on Halloween, do Halloween parties, and then stay a full week and a half, and then do Christmas parties at the end of the trip to get both in on one trip. And now it's like, that's not happening at all.
They said that the Christmas party isn't necessarily out of the works yet, but they can't say that it will be. I think it just depends. Oh, Nick will cry if there's no Santa. I know.
Yeah, but how would they even do them if they're not going to do fireworks or parades or characters? That's the three reasons why you go to the Christmas parties.
Well, I was shocked that they're still doing food and wine.
Yeah.
Because do you know how many people line up to get their flight of beer or their one specific item on a stick?
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do that. But maybe they're hoping because it's a limited capacity, only 5 people will want that flight of beer at a time as opposed to, 50.
Yeah.
I've been there before where the people were lined up around the corner, around Norway, into, just for that popular flight of beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. Next on my list was limited dining.
Yeah.
Because we have food allergies. I don't care if I don't have Rapunzel at my breakfast, that's fine. But to have not all the restaurants open is kind of a downer for me. Like I said, it's not going to prevent me from going, but,
Yeah. I had that on my list, and I took it off just because I kind of mixed some things around. But also, even with that, I have not very strict dietary issues, but I am lactose intolerant as well, so I have to watch what I'm eating. But even outside of that, think about how, even at a limited capacity, how busy going to a quick service is going to be at this point. I would much rather make a dining reservation, which we don't normally do a lot. We'll do 1 or 2 a trip. I would consider doing 1 a day just to make sure that I have somewhere to sit down without a mask on in the air conditioning.
Exactly.
And B, that I don't have to wait an hour in a line just to get food. That's, no offense, mediocre, park burgers and fries and whatever else. I'd much rather have the time and sit down for an actual meal with what's going on.
Right. In the beginning, they were originally, because I know some stuff from behind the scenes being a travel agent, they were not opening table service at all.
Yeah.
It was all quick service only. There was no indoor seating, and you were only able to order through an app, which sent red flags for me because I have to talk to the chef for every single meal.
Yeah.
And, on the app, there isn't always a, don't add this, substitute for this, allergy. You know what I mean?
And how reliable is the app for that anyway?
You want to talk to a human. I want to yell at the app, human.
Yeah.
Because, that's just kind of what it is. So, but it looks like they may have changed that a little bit. We'll see. There was a list that came out of all the restaurants that will be open. So it'll be interesting to see if that list is true.
Yeah.
Nick loves his mobile order. I wish we could. I wish we could be mobile order people, but we're not. I have too many changes and swap outs and
Yeah, we like mobile order, but I don't want to mobile order everything. Like,
well, and then I'll get to my ugly, but because I got stuff on that more.
yeah.
Then my third one was that Monday was not fun. And I'm not sure I really like this idea of picking out my park day so far in advance.
Yeah, not bad.
I get it. I mean, I hated fast passes, and that was 60 days in advance. This is park days. I have to okay, so the day I arrive, I'm flying in, I'm staying at this resort. Okay, let's do Magic Kingdom because we're on the monorail, or we have to do Animal Kingdom because we're staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Or I mean, it's
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
We just went through it. We're only going for 5 days, and 2 of those 5 days are travel days. And even though they're early in the morning going in and late at night going out, you've got to account for travel time. So I'm like, okay, what do we do on those days where we get the most out of our parks? Like, I'm not going to go to Epcot on our travel day back home when they open at 11 and we have to go back to Express at 2. Like, that's a waste of the day. And then like the same on the day that we go in, we're not going to do Animal Kingdom that closes at 6 if we're not going to be able to get to the park until 3. Like,
right.
And that's if the hours stay the same. So
which we have no clue because it's also new.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my bad because again, I'm still going, but all right. So you're ugly.
Okay. The first ugly for me is transportation. And I think that for me is only because we don't know, except for the buses that just came out like yesterday, we don't know anything about what transportation is going to look like. How are they going to do the gondola system? Obviously it would be one family per gondola, but then like, how do they clean them in between?
I didn't even think of that. How are they going to sanitize between families?
Like, are they going to have to like slow down the gondolas, every time somebody gets off, and then basically a cast member goes on, sprays it, and then the next family, like, I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't want to sit on a wet seat full of sanitizer.
Yeah. And I also don't want to sit in a not clean
or smell it.
Yeah. But then also if they can't just stop the gondolas every time somebody gets off of one, because then you've got people stuck in the air for an extra minute every 30 seconds.
And that's not cool either. I'm wondering if they'll do like every other gondola. And like if you're in a scooter or something, the gondola kind of steps aside and allows that person to exit. So I'm wondering if they do every other gondola, and the one that had people come out kind of goes in that handicap area where they wipe it down and then it goes back into circuit.
That's actually a really good idea. I don't know if it like every other would work, but you could probably do like even if you did like every 5
or whatever the number is, right?
Whatever the number is, that's a really good idea, because then you don't have to worry about which, it's not like, okay, we have to count 5 and then put the next one in. You just put them in the next gondola, but you pull it out,
clean it.
That's a good idea. Let's call Disney and tell them that.
They're watching because they love us. Disney, we just told you. Yeah. But the same thing about the monorail, right? That monorail rides in, people quickly exit, people quickly enter. Is someone going to be scrubbing down my seat before, or are they going to just let one part of the monorail open? Someone's in there cleaning it, and then they just open another part. You know what I mean? Like,
and then it's like there's seats here and here that you sit facing each other, but then there's a second set of that. Are you saying that like only, one family for a whole monorail car, or do you do one family per each of those little pods inside of the monorail car because you're 6 feet apart, or
like one family on each edge? So like no one sits in the middle seat, just on the edge.
Yeah.
But the other, like, cause let's say the Mark 7 or whatever has 7 cars. You divide up the cars and you only have 3 cars full of people. Meanwhile, there's a cast member on the other cars sanitizing.
Yeah, you switch them out just like with the gondolas.
Right. And then you just switch them out because they already cleaned it. So then that cast member would go into the one that just had people in it, swap it out, and then it's clean for because at 25% capacity and the fact that you cannot resort hop.
Shouldn't be.
How busy is that monorail really going to be? And who's really riding that gondola unless it's for a joyride, right? Because you're not able to go explore that resort, and you can't hop. So you can't really go from Epcot to Hollywood for funsies unless you're just going to do like a full circuit.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the only reason that you'd be on the gondolas is to go to and from those hotels. And I don't think those hotels are open.
Pop and Art are, and Caribbean Beach is, no, it's not Coronado's, Caribbean Beach. Yeah, that's open.
Oh, so they will be open.
Yeah. Pop and Art will be open.
But aren't they staggering those? So aren't Pop and Art opening
they're one of the first ones open.
And then isn't Caribbean Beach like a month later or something like that?
Yeah, Caribbean Beach is.
So then maybe they're trying to figure out the kinks of the gondola before they open up another hotel on that loop.
Right. Or maybe they're only going to let you on a gondola as if you're staying at that resort.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe there's no kid fun rides, because I know my kid just wanted to ride it for funsies.
Yeah, same. Me. I'm your kid.
Yeah. I did it once so I could film it, and I hated it. And the motion, it was just, I was done. Meanwhile, my kid's like, woo!
Yeah.
I'm like, no, get me off this thing.
Yeah. But then the boats would be fine because they're all open air and you can just 6 feet apart. So the boats are fine. And then the buses, they've already shown how they're going to be kind of split apart.
Right.
Yeah, Nick, I'll be using the boats. Perfect. Great minds think alike. Yeah, so transportation
don't go everywhere.
Yeah, but so transportation was my biggest one. We're actually renting a car so that we don't have to deal with the transportation portion of it. We know that we're going to be safe in our car.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. My second one is for pass holders not being able to just go when they want. Because that's a big perk of, I mean, even as an out-of-state pass holder, that's a huge perk to just be like, oh, it's a long weekend. Flights are really cheap. Let's just go. And now we can't. And like locals,
like think about that.
Like we've thought about moving to Florida and like thinking of it like as a local, being like, oh, I want to go to Epcot for dinner tonight. Nope. So I think that's a huge thing. And then hotels as well is on my list. I made this list before I called Disney, and
which we'll talk
to them about hotels. But the lack of availability and not being able to resort hop. We love to resort hop. Like we love to go and check out the monorail resorts and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like my Platinum Pass is no longer an AP because of this. Yeah.
Yeah, you purposely get a certain pass that doesn't have blockout dates, yet we're stuck with these blockout dates that are, I mean, I guess we shouldn't be complaining because there is this, pandemic and virus, but it is rather annoying because I think our passes are almost like $1,000 or 900 or something.
Yeah.
We pay for the ones without blockout dates, but we are essentially getting blocked out because AP's standalone can only book 3
at a time.
Yeah. 3 here. You can only book 3 at a time, which means you need to have a resort reservation, but all resort reservations are shut off. So if you didn't already have one, you're kind of screwed if you're an AP. So
yeah, I mean, unless
it's not on my list.
Unless they did hold back some for APs, and then if you can only do 3 at a time, then it's okay because you do those 3, and then everybody else can only do 3. So you can keep moving forward as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays. Sorry, my husband and child are laughing outside of the door.
Are you guys making fun of mommy?
Probably, or they're just being silly. Yeah, we'll get into it was 1,100, Nick. I can tell you in the next little segment about our annual pass adventure on Friday. So
yes. Yeah. So on Friday, this coming Friday will be interesting because it'll be interesting to see APs without resort reservations if they're able to get these so-called dates that are already sold out, so to speak.
Yeah. So what are your uglies besides masks?
Did you say all 3 already?
Yeah, transportation, pass holders, and hotels.
And what was the last one?
Hotels.
Oh, that's right.
Hopping.
Okay, so I don't want to offend anybody, but I hate masks. I hate them a lot. So the ugly for me is masks. But I'm not that person who won't wear my mask. I'm not that person going to the grocery store without my mask. I am still wearing my mask because I'm supposed to. I just hate them.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see anybody that would say that they like wearing a mask. Like,
it's so comfortable. I love just breathing in my own fresh breath, stinky brush air.
I was going to say, it reminds me when I need, like, it tells me when I need to brush my teeth. Like, I'll just have to bring a toothbrush with me into the parks. It's like, oh, Amanda, you need to brush your teeth, girl.
Well, on the other hand, you can eat all the garlic, whatever you want, because
yeah. So I mean, I think that masks need to be in the good section now. They're really a positive outside of the health side of it.
The masks have moved up the list. My number 2 is limited menu. So again, with the food allergies, I have heard that pick a quick service, Pecos Bills, that the full menu that we're used to is not the menu that's going to be offered.
Yeah.
And that freaks me out because not only am I vegan, but I have food allergies. So there's like one item on every quick service that I can have. And
how do you modify it?
If you remove it, or how do I modify it? And I can't be like, I'll take the chicken, but without the chicken, add the fake chicken. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the modified quick service are for people that are happy just eating their burgers and their fries and their whatevers. It doesn't really cater to those of us who have learned to love Disney food and the fact that you can get a salad everywhere or a sandwich everywhere.
Well, it'll be interesting because they just rolled out, last year, the whole vegetarian, vegan
thing.
So it'll be interesting to see if they, whether they go from 10 items to 5, how they decide to, like, if they would have to initiative, they have to keep something.
I'm just afraid that every restaurant is now just going to have a veggie burger. So for a week-long trip, I will get to eat, 14 veggie burgers.
Yep.
And
your almonds.
And my almonds. Veggie burgers and almonds. Apparently that's what I'm going to be eating. So that's what makes me nervous, which we'll talk about when we talk about our actual trips. Makes me a little nervous. And then my third one is, let's see. Oh, we kind of already talked about it, is just the potential for the buses to be busier and the lines to be busier. So it's the like Pop Century, the All Stars, which are not going to be open. They already have the worst bus lines. I mean, they could be lined up around the corner first thing in the morning to get in. Yeah. What's that going to be like when only 15 people can get on a bus?
Or at night.
Right, after the fireworks that aren't happening.
Yeah.
So are they going to hire more bus drivers and get more buses, which they should have done years ago for this? I just don't understand how they're going to, or are they keeping each hotel so low that they can't imagine? Actually,
every single person at their hotel is at Magic Kingdom leaving at 7:00 on the dot when the park closes.
Right. But actually, because we have to do everything in My Disney Experience, they will know.
They'll know.
100 of our guests want to go to Magic Kingdom today. So if we just get 5 buses for Magic Kingdom that day, we're good. Oh, and only 20 people want to go to Epcot. So 1 bus should be good enough.
Yeah.
What if they're like...
But then also the flip side of that, the buses could be, you could be waiting longer for a bus, even if you're the only ones waiting.
Right.
So because it's so low, you're going to be waiting 40 minutes for a bus because they know that there's only 10 people at Epcot that day from your hotel.
Right. So I guess you put transportation on, I guess, in a way I did too.
Yeah.
I never thought to rent a car. I might have to rethink that one. So I don't know, those of you who are watching, what is one specific good, bad, or ugly that maybe affects you? But one thing Amanda and I did want to get into is we both managed to get trips coming up.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to call phase 1. And so being moms, we have to consider, I guess I should say, with the majority of people right now freaking out about going to Disney, especially with, like, say, kids wearing masks and other stuff, we've chosen as moms to go anyway. So, how do you plan on handling all these changes with a kiddo? How is that going to change your what you would have done before to what you're going to do now. Tell us about your trip.
So, secret, my kid's not coming with me. It is a kid-free trip. It was planned that way well before COVID. This is actually, I was supposed to go for my birthday, which is next Sunday. So happy early birthday to me. Hold on. Before we get into that, Nick, good. Not being stepped on in line. Accurate. You will never hear somebody say, please fill in all available space ever again. Bad, no meet and greets for my little ones. Yep. Masks in 100-degree weather. Yep. Wholeheartedly agree.
It's on my list, Nick. You heard it. I'm over here with my Stranger Things.
Oh, I love that.
I'm cheating on you.
My son is not coming with us, but it was planned like that before. I probably wouldn't have brought him with us anyway.
Because he's young, right?
Yeah, he turned 3 in March, so he's young. He would technically have to wear a mask because he's 3, and it's 2 and over, which I know is the CDC's recommendation. And like he wears a mask the 5 times he's gone out of the house, but you can't expect a kid at 3 years old to wear a mask all day in 100-degree weather. There's no way.
I'm very interested. Yeah, I'm very interested to see how they're doing this because Disney let Universal open first, right? With the same rule. But the thing that people aren't really noticing is Universal is not a kids theme park. Universal is a thrill seekers park. So the majority of people who would be bringing a 3-year-old to Universal compared to the majority of people that would bring a 3-year-old to Disney is huge. So it's not comparing apples to apples here.
Yeah.
So I think it will be interesting because how do you expect a kid to wear a mask and not drop it or...
Come here. You want to come and say hello? Come here. Speaking of the kid, here, come here and say hello to
Family time on Mermaid
YouTube.
Hi.
Say hi. Can you say?
What is her name?
Her name is Nina.
Hi.
Did her tint the hair like Elsa?
Yeah, her hair does look like Elsa. Or actually, it looks kind of like Anna's, but it looks like both. All right, can you say goodbye to YouTube?
It's the color of Elsa's, but styled like Anna or Pippi Longstocking.
Hers has a big Yoda shirt.
Yes, she does. All right, say goodbye. Oh, look. Say something. Oh,
Yeah, a big Yoda and match your other one.
it does match our other one. All right, buddy. Say see you later, YouTube.
Bye.
What does this spell?
It spells all the things that we're talking about. So, all right, I'll see you in a little bit. Go shut the door. Thanks for coming on, dude. Yeah.
What's his name?
Josiah.
Oh, cutie.
Or JP. Yeah, so he's not coming with us on the trip. It was supposed to be a birthday trip. And then, really long story short, the second that they announced when the parks were going to open, we changed our resort hotel to the weekend that we're going, 2 weeks later. And then the next day they completely shut off all hotel reservations. So we lucked out there.
You skated in there. Good job.
Yep. And then, so we had Port Orleans French Quarter booked, and now they're not going to be open. So when they were like, yep, this is all going to happen starting on Monday, Friday we were driving up to Maine. We lived in New Hampshire, so it wasn't like driving from Florida to Maine. So it was like a 2-hour drive, and we were like, do we need to buy annual passes? We know we can't get tickets right now. We should try and buy annual passes. We're hoping to go in November anyway. It would just make more sense to get them. And so driving up to Maine, my husband bought annual passes just for the two of us. And we were like, oh, we'll buy his later, whatever, we'll figure it out. And then literally 2 hours later, people were saying that they couldn't buy annual passes anymore.
Wow, you've just been lucky.
We have been lucky.
Tell them what the third lucky thing is.
So Monday we get our parks for the 5 days that we'll be there. Super exciting. And then we tried to call Disney to see what was going on with the hotel because they kept saying, yes, your hotel won't be open, but we can't do anything about it yet. So here I am literally on my phone just hitting the button, and then it would be like, no circuit available, and hang up. Literally for 2 days we do this.
Welcome to my world.
Yep. Do not envy you at all. But I also really enjoyed doing that stuff. Like I love waking up early and doing fast passes and whatever. So I'm all fine with doing it. So last night I call at like 6:30, finally get Disney to answer the phone. So it was 2.5 hours of waiting and hearing that music over and over and over. Get the nicest woman ever on the phone. And I was like, okay, let me pull up my resort reservation number to give to you. And I was like, how's your day going? And she was like, it's going really well. How's yours? And I'm like, probably a lot better than yours with all the people calling you and whatever. And I don't know if it's because I was nice. If this woman was just the nicest woman in the world, I was lucky because my birthday was on the reservation or whatever. But they upgraded us from French Quarter to a theme park view room at the main building in the Contemporary, and there's no words.
I was telling my clients this whole time, I'm like, don't cancel. This could end up being the trip of your dreams. What if you get upgraded from like all stars to whatever, or like you got upgraded from a moderate to not just a deluxe, but like the top room. Yeah. At a deluxe. So I always give Disney a chance. I had so many people that just wanted to cancel as soon as they heard anything, just cancel. And I'm like, no, wait, what if? I don't want any regrets, right?
Yeah.
So thank goodness for you quickly getting in action. You got your hotel, you got your APs, and then like the hotel room of your dreams.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy how it all happened because we had originally been booked for my birthday weekend at the boardwalk. And then when COVID happened, we changed it to Pop Century because we were like, you know what, we don't know what's going to happen with our jobs or money. So let's just downgrade as much as we can, but still go if they open. And then changing it to French Quarter, and then just everything is just kind of falling right into place way more perfectly than it ever should have.
Right. It's Disney. So it's magical when it does that. I'm so happy for you because that's
Yeah, I'm really excited. I feel really bad because Mary actually from the Siskateers, we were chatting back and forth, and she was like, yeah, we got upgraded. And then when I got upgraded to that room, I was like, oh my gosh, that was not where her upgrade was. Like, she still got upgraded, which is great. But I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like kind of guilty.
What did she get, Old Key West?
No, she got, she has a cabin at Fort Wilderness.
Oh.
Which, I mean, honestly, like, when she told me that's what she got, I was like, I would be totally fine with that. Like, that sounds like a blast to me. Like, it's just my husband and I, like a full cabin. Awesome.
With a kitchen. That's the key right there. The limited food, no restaurants open, and you're going to have a kitchen.
And we have a rental car, so we could buy our own food.
Right.
So, yeah, but then they were like, yeah, she was so funny. She goes, so I'm not sure if this is something that you'd be interested in, but I do have a theme park view at the Contemporary that would be no extra charge for you. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure my exact words were, yeah, I think that would be okay.
Let me think about that. I mean, who is like, no, I hate the Contemporary theme park view.
Yeah, I told my husband, he was like, oh, and I was like, and I said no. And he like looked at me and he's like, no, you didn't. Like, yeah, you're right.
No, you didn't. No, that's not true.
Yeah, so we'll be there for 5 days. We're going to be packing reusable masks and cloth masks as well, just so that we have a bunch of different options. Just planning on drinking a lot of water. And if I can get onto Rise, and that's all I do for a ride the entire 5 days, I'm happy.
That's what we're going into it thinking. If we can, like Hollywood, if we can just do Rise and Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah.
Because at this point, like I've been telling my people, it's just a different Disney. So before, when you would get up at 6 a.m. and play until midnight, you're not going to do that this time. Yeah. You're just not. So you just have to think of it differently. Maybe you mask for a couple of hours, take a break at your pool, eat, and then mask in the evening for a couple of hours. Your total at the park 4 to 6 hours, you've ridden a handful of rides. It might have been the same number of handful of rides you would have ridden on before.
Yeah. And I think it's different, for us as, people who have been to the parks 100 times.
Right.
Versus, somebody that's going for the first time or their, every other year trip or whatever it is. If I hadn't gone all of last year, I probably would have canceled my trip for this year because, it would have been a couple of years since I had gone last and it would have been completely different and not what I wanted. But since I've done all the rides 100 times and, seen the fireworks and done the meet and greets, doing little sounds enjoyable to me.
Right. I mean, that's when our trip happened, it came out of nothing because we only had the one night.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, as a travel agent, I should at least go down for that one night. I should probably blog and vlog and see what it's like.
Yeah.
So that I can properly tell my clients. Because if it's just a total nightmare, I don't want my clients wasting their money.
No.
But I want to see it and do it myself before I really trust too many people. But then the kids heard, and then it became a mother-daughter trip. She's older. She's 11. It was like, oh, we'll just go on a couple of rides, and then we'll hang out at the pool. We'll just keep it chill. But then they heard we got updated to Kandani. So now the other two want to go. So now my one-night trip has turned into a 4-night Kandani with the whole family. And now I have to quickly figure out, what did Nick say? Sorry, without fireworks, I'll pass on that. Said no one ever. Yeah. That's what I was thinking is your contemporary view is theme park view, but traditionally people want that to see the fireworks.
Yeah.
But there are no fireworks, but who cares? You can still see the castle.
Exactly. Like literally the first thing I called my best friend afterwards. And literally the first thing out of her mouth was, oh, you'll be able to see the fireworks. And then she goes,
like,
no, you won't.
I mean, they're probably still going to do the light show at least. So at least maybe you'll be able to see her. Actually, I don't know if they will because they're painting it.
I don't know, but I'll still be able to see lights on there. And I've already said every night when I get back to the hotel, doesn't matter what park I've been in, what time it is, I'm going to literally set up my laptop on the balcony with the fireworks on YouTube, and I'm going to watch the fireworks from my balcony.
There you go. I know I have to upload a wishes video. I found a video of wishes that I've never uploaded.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, old school. Wishes.
Throwback.
But yeah, so my one night travel agent trip turned into the whole family going.
Yeah.
So now I have to last minute try to figure out how to do Disney with 2 kids and masks, with food allergies, with limited food in 1,000-degree heat.
Yep. And rain.
And it's summer and we're flying. And, so I'm not scared at all, but I'm a little trying to figure it out. So I think the first thing we're going to try to master is, sorry, he keeps staring at me. I shouldn't have put him.
I'm literally laying on my husband's chair, staring at me from like 6 feet away. I'm like, are you trying to social distance, Baby Yoda? Like, why don't you just be creepy and like come over here and hang out with me?
I'm going to get him a pair of sunglasses, so it'll be a little easier.
Perfect.
But I think the first thing we're going to tackle is masks. So my kids have been practicing wearing their masks. We went to Target a couple days ago just so we could see people in public with masks and wear masks. And my youngest, who's been anti-mask this whole time, did pretty well. But I think my big goal for the next few weeks is to research the best mask to wear in the heat. So anyone who's watching or will be watching this later, if you've already done the research and you know the best mask for the Florida heat, drop it in our comments because that's just going to help all of us. And the other thing we're trying to do is typically we're each wearing a backpack and the kids all have a backpack. I'm trying to do that. Not at all. I want them to be wearing as little as possible. I'm not going to make the kids carry their own bags this time.
Yeah, I think we typically like to bring up until maybe our last trip, I would bring some sort of actual backpack. But then our last trip, I wore a Loungefly the whole time, and that seemed to be okay because it was smaller.
Right.
But this time, I'm just going to suck it up and just either not wear a backpack or bring just a Loungefly and just buy bottled water the entire time, even though I don't want to, and I know it's such a waste of money. Not having to carry around a full backpack is worth the extra money of having bottled water to me.
I thought the same. I usually wear a full backpack, and then I downgraded that last time to like it's a Vera Bradley like half size backpack.
Yeah.
But this time I think I'm just going to do a crossbody Vera because it's lightweight. It's not really my favorite look, but it's lightweight. And then yesterday the kids and I went to REI and we got like little 14-ounce bottles.
Oh, nice.
That we're going to carry, but we're trying to figure out a way to minimize the stuff that we would normally bring just so it's lighter. What is Nick saying over here? I bought a few of them and my wife makes them. We'll be making a video about it. Cool. About making masks. And there's always you can get well, see, here's the thing. Nick says you can get free water at quick service, but you can't enter the quick service. So I'm wondering if they're going to have cast members out there with a tray.
They might.
Like, sorry, you're stuck with masks. Hydrate.
Yeah.
Hydrate. But that's why you guys have to keep following us because, and I know Nick is going as well, who will be on this show next week will be Nick. You follow us along. Make sure you guys sub to Amanda, sub to me, and keep following along because we are going to be there in phase 1 and we will let you know the reality of all this because at this point we don't know yet. But I mean, there really could be a cast member standing out there with, water because wearing a mask in 1,000-degree heat and heat stroke and passing out and all those kind of things that could happen.
Yeah. They don't want that.
No, we don't want that. And Disney doesn't want that. And it would make sense for them to keep us hydrated. So I'm interested to know if they will do that actually.
Yeah, I definitely am. I have one already, but I'm going to be buying more on Amazon. I should probably do that like sooner rather than later, is getting the cooling towels.
Yes, we have those.
Yeah. So we had one for our September trip and it was absolutely life-changing. So we need some more.
We've been using those for a couple years. And then the other thing we're going to do is we already have neck fans, but I'm going to see which neck fan works the best. Because if we're stuck with a mask,
yeah,
it's better to have the ones that look like headphones, or is it better to have one around your neck that you can kind of, but I think the key thing here is masks, cooling towels, fans, and water. I mean, I think it's doable. I know a lot of people, I know a lot of cast who are in Florida who are wearing masks right now. And I mean, it sucks, but they're doing it. They've found ways around it. It's not that bad. You get used to it is what I keep hearing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's the case. But again, that's why you follow us so that we can tell you, the truth of it all. And the other thing is food. I have to figure out how to feed my family in case food is so limited that there's really nowhere we can go. Yeah. Because that's the big fear with food allergies, right? Traditionally, you go to Disney and you eat like a king and a queen, and I don't have to pack all this food. But now I'm going into it kind of afraid, not knowing what our options will be. So now I have to figure out how to pack food and I don't even know. Does anyone know? Maybe Nick knows. I don't know if you guys, can we still ship things to the hotels like we always could? Like, can I get an Amazon delivery?
I feel like I saw Disney Food Blog post something about it, but I can't remember what they said. I don't think I actually swiped up on the article on Instagram. But I feel like they said something about it at some point.
I read something about deliveries that they wouldn't be able to hold your delivery. But I don't know if that means that you won't be able to deliver and meet. Yeah, because that's what they were doing. Person.
That's what they started doing, last year at some point? They started making it that you had to meet people like face to face. They couldn't just drop stuff off. It's kind of funny how some of these things came into play before COVID happened.
Right. And then I know one big change is Bellhop is no longer going to be able to escort you to your room.
Yeah.
You do you. Bellhop's going to deliver your bags at a different time. They're no longer going to be helping you along. So I'm just interested because a lot of my clients, I'll tell them to ship an Amazon Prime box. Mm-hmm. But is that allowed? I mean, Amazon, I tell them to ship it a good day before so that it can go through security. But are they still going to allow that to happen? So I have these like little questions that I will be asking cast once this gets closer to on point, because if I can ship stuff or do an Instacart or a Whole Foods delivery, then it makes my life.
Yeah, well, especially if you're going to be at Kidani as well, since you're going to have the DVC room as well.
Right. We'll just have a kitchenette, but still the ability to have a microwave. I could get some vegan nuggets or something.
Yeah.
And as rubbery and disgusting as they will be, at least it's something.
At least it's food and not 14 veggie burgers.
Right. Or a whole bunch of Triscuits, which is what's on the list right now.
The Triscuits are pretty good, but maybe not for your only food for an extended amount of time.
Right. Well, that's the thing is I've got 2 kids. If it was just me and my husband, we would rock it out, figure it out. But I've got to figure out how to feed picky kids with food allergies. Yep. My daughter's vegan and gluten-free.
Yep.
Like the worst combo.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I have my 3-year-old who on our last trip, I'm pretty sure ate the Uncrustable sandwiches and applesauce pouches. Pretty much the entire trip. That's all he ate. I'm like, you know what? He's still in the 80th percentile. He's obviously happy. You guys saw him. He's adorable. Like, he's fine. But he eat things besides sandwiches and applesauces.
Well, that's the thing as a parent. I get a lot of clients who are really worried. Is my kid going to have enough food, healthy food? That's why they came out with the kid check meals.
Yep.
But when push comes to shove and you're at Disney, there's 2 things you want. You want your kid to sleep and you want your kid to not throw a temper tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
You figure it out. If that means they just eat mac and cheese and applesauce or pizza every day, you deal with it when you get home and you add the vegetables in later. Because for me, I'm like, sleep and let's not throw a fit.
Yeah. Let's not get hangry. Like that's
right. Which would equal a fit.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but lucky you not bringing the kiddo this time. I'm excited to bring my kids. My kids love Disney, and we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But the figuring it out to make it work will be interesting. But right now, our goal is if we just get 2 rides done in the morning and 2 rides done in the evening, we're going to have to tell ourselves we're good with that. If we get to the park and after 2 hours we can't wear the mask anymore and we're done, then we'll take a break and try again later. But I'm hoping, as you mentioned, that if we do a couple of rides, we schedule a table service lunch.
Yeah.
That gets us to about noon. That's a pretty decent Disney day.
Yeah. The other thing that'll be interesting too is if they're going to have like the relaxation zones like Universal has as well.
I think I read something that they will.
Because that'll be a game changer. Because like thinking about using like the baby care centers when we have our son with us as like a rest spot. I mean, obviously it's not like a take off your mask rest spot, but just as, 10 minutes to get away from the crowds, like to have that 10 minutes as an adult without a mask would be fantastic.
Right. Like remember the old smoking zones?
Yeah, those would be perfect.
That could be a mask rest stop. Or I keep thinking of the bridge at Epcot. And it's,
oh my gosh, I know exactly where you're talking about.
I don't even know what it's called, but the baby care area is in there. There's a bathroom and it's a bridge
over by the Odyssey building.
Right. Like you can take Test Track Bridge and it connects to World Showcase.
Yeah.
It's a good spot to kind of just give a couple of X's and social distance from people because you don't have to use that bridge. You can go from Future to World Showcase without going on that bridge.
Yeah. And it's usually better to do because that bridge is so hot every single time.
I'm like, why are we going on the bridge? My husband's like, because there's less people. I'm like, why are we going on the bridge?
Yeah, I tell myself that every single time I go on that bridge.
Why did we get stuck on the bridge? It just seems so like out of the way.
And it's always when it's like 110 degrees out at like 1 in the afternoon.
I know. Oh, one time, really quick story, and then we've been on live for a really long time. Long story short, my husband and I had a little tiff one day. We were headed to Epcot, and we were, husband and wife, whatever. And he was bothering me while I was trying to get ready, and I forgot to put on deodorant. So, and you don't notice it because you're in the, I'm trying to get my makeup on and my hair, and he just happened to pick something with me when I was doing that part of the getting ready. And I get on the bus and I'm just like, something's not right. And I get to the park and I just feel like I'm stinky. I'm sure I'm not because it literally was like 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
I spent a good part of the day hunting down deodorant. And so now my number one packing advice is to pack deodorant into your park bag, because in case you mess with your husband and forget.
Yeah.
But they sell it at the baby care center. So if it happens to you.
Good to know. We do have like I got like these body wipes. They're like, I don't know, like this big maybe. But they're not really deodorant. They're more of this like de-stinkifiers rather than like actually like deodorant. So I need to get one of those, like the ones that kind of look like an EO chapstick, like a little ball. I need to get one of those to put into my bag.
Yeah. I'm thinking heat, masks, stinky, pack a little travel deodorant in your day bag and you'll be good to go.
And Tic Tacs for your breath.
Yeah, I chew gum, so I'm a gum person. But Nick says he's also heard about the mask-free zone. So again, follow us, guys. We will show you. So I think we've probably done it for the night. What do you think, Amanda? You got anything else to share?
I'm really excited to go to Disney in 3 weeks.
Yay! All right. So before we exit out for the evening, what do you have going up on your channel coming up?
So tomorrow I have a Funko Pop swap that I did with probably about 10 other channels, and I'm really excited for it. Really bad, but the 2 Funko Pops that wrong way. The 2 Funko Pops that I got are actually up on the wall. So if you've watched my channel before, you'll notice which ones are the new ones. But I'm really excited for that. And then starting next week, we will have 2 videos up a week versus just the one that we've been doing for probably the past 6 months or so. So we're going to have our regular videos, like sitting down, talking about our favorite things, whatever, on Mondays, and our food videos on Thursdays.
Fun. So again, guys, go head over to Amanda's channel and click that subscribe button. When this is all over, the video will be able to we'll be able to watch, and in the subject headline below will also be a link to her channel. Feel free to like this live and subscribe, of course. On my channel, I had been doing 3 days a week of vlogs from our trip, but I am sadly like heading towards the end because literally the next few videos is when the flu hit.
Oh no.
We're out of video. I don't think you want to see the video I took of my son riding the ambulance to the hospital.
Nope.
But yeah, so I am going to be reduced to just twice a week. If you guys didn't catch the beginning, I am looking for a co-host to do a weekly, every Wednesday night live chat. We will talk all things Disney, Disney parks, and the updates. With COVID going on, so many things are getting changed. That's what we will be discussing here. So between the live and maybe once a week, I plan on doing a packing series. I have a whole bunch of Disney hauls to do. I need to try out my new camera.
Ooh, is that a Sony?
Yes, it's the new vlogger's camera that comes with the built-in gimbal.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's see.
Nice.
So it's all set up, ready for vlogging.
That's sweet.
Hey, Mickey girls. So I will be doing everything on this, and then I will be making a review on that. But basically, I am just counting down to the Disney trip, which I will vlog like crazy about. So yes, stay tuned for that. So I don't really know what else to say. I can't really think of anything. But yeah, Disney's just constantly changing their policies. So following people like me and Amanda just kind of help you guys stay in the loop. So yeah. Sorry, Mickey girls. I know you just joined, but we are headed out. Thank you, Nick. I think you've watched this whole thing, and I totally appreciate that. So anyway, make sure you guys subscribe to Amanda, and mahalo for watching, guys. Nina, out.
Bye.
Bye. It should end here in a